Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Berkeley, and I'm going to take you through a video that gives you some insight in how to navigate Blackboard. I know for many of you, this is the first time that you've been working on a learning management system like Blackboard. Perhaps you're used to Canvas, perhaps you're used to other programs. But Blackboard is very specific, and there's a way to navigate it. And I want to make sure that this is as easy for you as possible, because I know many of you have never used this before. So let's get started with understanding how to use this. Once you log in, you should be using your SIUE email. You log into the account and you will click on the course, which is Decision Making in Organizations. The section number will vary depending on which section it is that you're going to be enrolled in. And then once you click on that, you'll notice that there are a large number of options on the left-hand menu, and then you'll come into an announcements page that will talk to you about what's going on, welcome to the class, et cetera, et cetera. So always check your announcements page. I work very hard when I send announcements to also make sure they're sent to you as an email, which is why it's imperative that you use your SIU email for all school-related issues, because that's where all the information is going to be. So the left-hand menu, I'll orient you to that first. We have the course information to start here, including announcements, a getting started folder that has a number of different things that you should be paying attention to and reading. And then a questions and concerns thread, where if you have any questions that are general, that you don't mind other people reading, you can post it in the questions and concerns thread. If you have a specific issue for me, I highly recommend you just send me the email so we don't have to worry about privacy issues. But just so you're aware of that. You'll have your course materials next, and the first thing on that is the School of Business Academic Integrity module. You need to complete that academic integrity module before you continue in the class. Either you have to complete it, or you will have to demonstrate that you've already completed it in another class and had a certificate that proves otherwise, that you completed it. So if you haven't completed it already, you need to do so. You need to complete the quiz with an 80% or greater in order to get access to the course material. So I just want you to be aware of that in advance. You will not be able to get into the course until I verify your certificate, which means I need to go in, I need to read it, and I need to make sure that it's a valid certificate. So it may take me up to 24 hours to get in there. So if you anticipate jumping in and getting your work done and beginning right away, I want you to be aware that it still may take you 24 hours from the time that you got the academic integrity module completed to have access to the course material. So please be aware of that. The next thing on this list is what we call Red Shelf, and Red Shelf, as you'll see, is the way that we access our classroom textbook. There's a lot of readings in this class, but this is the textbook that you'll be using for now. And there are other readings that you'll be responsible for as well. The course content, if you click on that link, this brings you into the peer, you'll see a peer evaluation, which will be available for you once we're ready to do the peer evaluations. Right now, you're seeing my portal as a faculty member. You're not going to see what it looks like for you. But when the peer evaluation is available for you, it will open up here and you'll have access to information and how to find the peer evaluations. Next, you'll find a due date grid, and that due date grid tells you what the assignments are that are due here on these rows here. The columns here indicate the dates that things are due. This is the soft deadline, which is if you want to keep pace every week with the class and get things done on a weekly basis, this is when things are due. This darker block is what I call the hard deadline, or your grace period. So you get a 1 week grace period for everything, because I recognize that life happens. Things interfere with our ability to get things done. Sometimes we have extra demands at work that we're not expecting that we need to take care of, or we have a trip planned for work or things like that that need to be addressed. So I create a week grace period for everybody. And then I explain that after the 10th of July, you get a 0 on the assignment. And again, if you have something extraordinary going on, please reach out to me. I am a reasonable person. I will work with you individually, but I don't want people to fall behind. So if we don't get the work done in a timely manner, that you will get zeros. And then once I put in the 0, the next module will open for you and you can continue through the module. So just be mindful that you need to get that work done in order to proceed through the assignments. So each assignment has a soft due date or the normal due date for the class, and then the hard deadline here, which includes the grace period. Recognize that week 6 and 7 will both open simultaneously and are both due no later than August 10th or August 12th. I apologize. Specifically, you have a very shortened week for week 7, which is why I open up 6 and 7 simultaneously after you're done with week 5. It enables you then to be able to manage 2 weeks of work in a way that is best for you and your schedule and your timing. And that works really nicely. So this tells you when the quizzes are due. These are the quiz hard deadlines. Soft deadlines are usually the week before, but these are all the quiz hard deadlines. And the discussion boards are due on these dates. There's no soft deadline for the discussion boards. They're due when they're due. Each person is responsible for engaging with a team with 5 discussion boards that they need to participate in with their teams. So this is not something where you divide up the work and say, I'll do discussion 1 and you do discussion 2. You're supposed to be collaborating on each one of these. And it doesn't have to be elaborate, and someone can still take the lead, but everybody should be participating and contributing to the process and checking, the people's submissions, giving them feedback, making suggestions on better ways to answer questions, adding additional information where needed. You have to work collaboratively, because if you all have your name on the discussion board, if it's a poor discussion board, everybody gets a poor grade. So you are responsible and accountable to each other. And it's that accountability that we have to learn, and we have to transition to the workplace to learn how to be accountable to make sure everybody's getting the work done the way they need to. So that's the due date grid. As we move through the rest of course content, you'll see pre-course work. There are a number of things that you need to do before module 1 starts and opens. As you can see here, you have to post an introduction of yourself to the discussion board. You have to post a crash plan in the course blog, because the crash plan is something that if your internet breaks down, how are you still going to be held accountable for getting the course material completed? Obviously, if there's a major crisis like a blackout, everybody's going to have a problem. And I've had that happen in the past, where the whole area had no electricity for 24 to 48 hours in the middle of the summer, which was not a fun experience for the most of us. But that internet crash plan has to be completed. I just want to make sure that you have it in your mind that you've got a plan of attack just in case your internet dies or your computer dies at home. How are you going to handle that? I want you to be thinking of your backup plan. And then lastly, the academic integrity module, like I told you, I'm going to click on this to show you what that looks like. And you can see here, we've got the assignments of what you need to do. Here's the discussion board. Here is your internet crash plan. And then here is the access to the ability to submit your quiz for the quiz certificate for the academic integrity module. So when you're ready to submit it, you have to click on this. You will be asked to upload the assignment, browse your local files. You're going to have to upload it and then submit it. It's a 2-step process. And then you hit submit. And you should be able to have everything submitted there. And remember, as I said, it may take me up to 24 hours to verify the certificate to make sure it's valid. Once I do that, then you'll have access to the course material. So plan accordingly. Give yourself 24 hours before you're ready to begin your work. Okay, I am going to take you back here to the main menu on the left, where it says School of Business Academic Integrity Module. This is actually where your academic integrity module is. You will click on this link here, and that will take you into the academic integrity module. And here is the academic integrity quiz. Once you're done with the module, you'll take the quiz. And once you pass it with an 80% or greater, you will have access to a certificate that will pop up. And then you should download that certificate, as you can see here from the instructions, save it as a PDF. and then you should be able to upload that into that portal as I showed you in the course content area. So back to course content. Once you have completed everything in the pre-coursework, you'll get a badge that says, congratulations, you've completed all the pre-coursework, and you're allowed to now proceed to module 1. So module 1 will be here. And as you can see, you'll only get one module at a time, except as I said, after you finish week 5, 6, and 7 open simultaneously. So we're pacing you to take this all one step at a time. I don't want you rushing through and pre-anticipating assignments, because things build over the time of the course, and it's important for you to master the stuff early on before you can get into the later things. So each folder for the modules have this information laid out in a very consistent way. We talk about what the objectives are for the week, what it is that you're going to be doing. Then we talk about what lecture materials you need to be listening to, followed by what all the assignments are and when they're due. So all the assignments are due by July 3rd for the first week, if you are in the summer class that I'm working with right now in summer 2020. And then it'll tell you each of the assignments and how they're related to the course objectives and when the hard deadline is due. So we'll have a soft deadline listed here, and then we have a hard deadline listed down here under the assignments. I'll take you into one of those modules so you can see what that looks like. Each module is laid out in exactly the same way. We start with an introductory video where I orient you to what is going on in the course, what you can expect for that module specifically. Then I have readings. I anticipate that you should read the readings first. I know a lot of people like to do it differently. I suggest, and I've had students tell me that they've performed the best when they followed the guidelines the way it was laid out here in the class. You start with the video, then you do the readings, then you move into the lecture material. Now, in terms of the readings, some of these are clickable. For example, this PDF here and this PDF here are both clickable. You can click on it, you can access it, you can read it that way. Others are not clickable. For example, this piece here, which is, it tells you that it's the Framing Decisions textbook, and it tells you which chapters I want you to review. So you can always read ahead on many things because you have all the assignments written in your syllabus. So if you do want to read ahead for other course material, you're welcome to start doing that. In terms of the lecture material, then I'll outline what kind of lecture material we'll be dealing with here. So we'll go in here. There's some videos, some fun videos to listen to, just so you get a sense of what's kind of going on. Then we have Introduction to Decision Making in the micro level decision environment. And I have it in 2 parts. This one's about 35 minutes, and I can break this down if I need to further, but I have this is about a 35-minute video. This is a 30-minute video. Both of these, if you can click on it and it will open it up into a full screen so you can read the things that way. There's also the link here on YouTube if you want to just go directly to YouTube and watch the videos there. The next one here for lecture 1 is decision-making biases. And I have to update these videos here. I'm going to be working on that. But here's the lectures for decision-making biases. So there's a PowerPoint usually attached, and then the video, the lecture videos follow it. Every single module follows the same format. So you'll have a lecture folder, and then within that, the subfolders of where each of the lectures are and what they're covering. So that's the lecture material here. Once you're done with the lecture material, I encourage you to do the quiz, and you click on the quiz and it tells you the instructions, when it's due, et cetera, what material it covers. And this one will cover introduction to decision-making, micro-level decision-making context, including how we make decisions and decision-making styles, and then the decision-making biases that we can expect on that. And then once you're done with the quiz, you'll get a grade for that. If you get a 0, not that I expect people to get 0s on the quizzes, you shouldn't be getting 0s on the quizzes, but if you take it after the soft deadline and you get a 0, I don't want you to panic. That's how the system is set up. The 0 flags me that you're following a little bit behind in the course material, that you're not pacing as you need to. Anytime you submit it after the soft deadline and before the hard deadline, it comes up as a 0. But that is what it does, is it flags me. I go in, I grade it, and then your true grade and what you get shows up. So I have to override the 0 because the system assumes if you submitted it late, then you're getting a 0. Then we have module 1 here. Assessment, and it tells you what the assessment is. It tells you when it's due, what the hard deadline is and the soft deadline. We'll click on this and you can see here there's a whole list of things that you need to accomplish for this. So you first of all have to take this decision style inventory, start with that, and then you move to the assignment here, and it will read all of the things that you need to do for the assignment. And then lastly, there's a rubric here that gives you a sense of what I am looking for each of the assignments. Now, if you want to submit your assignment, notice that this is like a spiral notebook over here. You click on here. This brings you into the assignment itself, and you can create a journal entry here. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to copy and paste your answer in this journal portal. Do not attach any files. And in fact, I don't think you're going to have the option to attach files, but I'm going to double check to make sure that that option has been removed for you. It should be. So you will submit your journal entry here, and then you'll hit submit. The reason why I don't want you to attach files is because our facilitators have to grade all the assignments. And if you attach files, imagine 45 students in the class with 5 assessments, they have to download onto their computer to read 45 times 5 different assignments. So that's 90, 180, 225 papers into their download file. So we don't want to do that. We keep it simple. It's easier for us to grade, and you want it to be easy for us to grade by putting things here in this portal, and then we're able to access it that way. So that's what the portal looks like for the assignment. We'll move back here to, to course content and to micro level here. All right, so I just took you through the quiz. I took you through the module assignment. Once you submit that, you'll see this final thing here that tells you in order to proceed to module 2, these are the things you need to do. You need to mark reviewed for the folder that says module 1, decision-making environment. Then you have to complete your quiz, and you have to submit the assignment, the judgment in a crisis assignment. And then once you've completed those things, module 2 will open up for you, as you can read here. So again, there's a set procedure that you need to engage in. So when I tell you that I need you to mark reviewed, you will click on, there'll be an option here for you that'll say mark reviewed, and you'll click on this for this folder here in the main course content. You'll click on that, and that will trigger, one of the things that you need to do to trigger the adaptive release to move to the next module. Then what you'll find is that you'll get another badge that says you have successfully completed module 1. You can now proceed to module 2, and you'll go through this every step of the way with every single thing that you need to do. So let me take you back up here and switch this to student preview so you can understand what it looks like and what it will look like for you as you go into this as a student for the first time, that student portal. And as you notice, again, we come into the announcements area where there will be announcements for you to review. You'll click on here. That'll take you to Getting Started. Getting Started has a list of things that you should do before you even dive into the course material. So you're going to watch a video, read and watch another video here, read the syllabus, verify your tech requirements, read your policies, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a whole list of things that you need to do. And I'm going to scroll down. Notice here is that first thing I told you about mark reviewed. So you want to make sure that you click on this where appropriate. Mark reviewed helps you to keep track of what materials you've reviewed already, what materials you still have left to review, what you've completed. Sometimes it's just there for your assistance, and sometimes it's there as part of the adaptive release. So it's important that you stay on top of that. So as you can see here are videos on how to navigate Blackboard, which I am recording now, but I will be replacing them with this video here. Then you have your learning goals here that tells you a little bit about what the learning goals are. Here, you're going to click on the video and you're going to listen to a small video clip from me about what to expect in the class. Here's the course objectives. Here is the course syllabus. So you can download this and save that for yourself so that you can review and know what's going on, track written assignments and things like that. Here is the outline of the textbooks. Right now, you pay a textbook fee so you can get the textbook for free through the red shelf. If you would prefer to have a hard copy, I can speak to the bookstore and they can send you, or you can pick up a hard copy of the textbook, or you can simply go to Amazon and buy it yourself. It's available, but it's up to you how you want to proceed. We also have a Harvard course pack that's $44, and you need to complete that course pack and purchase this. And I am encouraging you to purchase this as soon as possible, because your very first assessment in Module 1 is a case that you need to be reading and a simulation that you need to do in the Harvard course pack. In order for me to get you into that system, I have to get it set up in the first place, and I have to get you set up and assigned to a certain condition in the simulation. If you wait to the last minute, for example, Sunday afternoon when it's due Sunday evening, I am not necessarily going to be available to access my email instantaneously and put it in and get you loaded in so you can do it at the same time. So if you purchase it now, as the class begins, I can get everybody assigned as quickly as possible, and you will already be assigned and ready to go long before the due date. And this way we don't have to worry about any last minute crunches. So please be responsible on that and make sure you purchase it right away. Another assignment that you'll be working on is what we call an ethical lens inventory. So you'll be assessing what your ethical lens is, and that is available here. This is, if you click on this, it brings up the course codes for you. So you can go to the website, follow the instructions, download, you can download this, get into the website and take the assessment so you know what your ethical lens is. You will need this for assignments as you go through the course, mostly starting in week 4, I believe, and discussion 3 is where you'll need it, but you'll also need it for week 6 when you do your assignment in week 6, so you're aware of that. But you make sure you have that. This is no cost to you. The university absorbs that cost. The School of Business absorbs it. So all you have to do is just go in and get it right away. Red Shelf, this is just another link for Red Shelf so that you can have another way to access the textbook. I try to keep redundancies so that if someone misses it in one location, they find it in another. Then again, as a backup, you have it in the menu, but you also have it here, your School of Business Academic Integrity module. And then the contact information. So we have me, a little bit of bio about me and some contact information about me. And our facilitator for this term is Mary Jean Grody. MJ is what her name is. And she has a little bio here about herself. If you have any questions or concerns, as I said, again, redundant system. I have it set up in the left-hand menu, but I also have it here in Getting Started. If you have any questions or concerns, you can click on it here. We require students to use APA format. So here are the guidelines on how to use APA. It's pretty straightforward. If you haven't used it before, by all means, feel free to ask for help. I'm happy to advise you and happy to direct you where you should go. The best and most accessible place is Purdue Owl, which you can find by clicking here. And it gives you templates to follow in order to be able to post references and citations as appropriate. But there's other options available here. So you have all things to choose from. You have a minimum technical requirements that you should be reading up on, all the resources and services, policies, etc. So all of this is available to you here for you to be doing, for you to be looking into, and just making sure that you are following university policy and all sorts of things. Let me take you back up to the top here. And then lastly, we'll look at the course content again. Notice in the course content, all you're going to see right now, because I have some settings set, is the due date grid and your pre-course work. And notice here it says mark reviewed, so that you can keep track of what you've done. Once you've completed the work in here, as I said, Module 1 opens up for you after I've reviewed your academic integrity certificate. There's a few other things I want to point out to you. You will be responsible, as I said, to work in group discussion boards. So here is the link to the group discussion board. You will click here and you will have a group that you will be assigned to. It'll show up here. Right now, I'm showing you what the portal looks like, which right now doesn't have any assignments because I haven't assigned anybody to teams yet. And once I do that, your team will show up here and you should have be assigned to one team. If for some reason you're not assigned to one team, you're assigned to more than one, that's a mistake on my part. Just let me know and I'll make sure that that gets fixed. But each person will be assigned a discussion board and you will then be able to access the discussion boards when they're due. I usually have it opened up 2 weeks before it's due. So you'll have everything set and ready to go for you. You have a couple weeks to work on the assignment to get things up to speed and to go from there. Other things you should be aware of is My Grades. When you go in, all your assignments are listed here. If you want to see the feedback on your grades, you click on the grade that you got, which will usually show up where this dash is. You click on that, it opens the grading up and it'll show you where the feedback on the rubric is. If you have any problems navigating this, by all means, reach out to me and we can work through it together on Zoom. So you can see all of our assignments are listed in here, all the different assessments that you'll be expected to do over the course of the class. So quizzes, discussion boards, and the assignments. So all of them have where it says view rubric. Some of them have view rubrics. I have to fix this. This is clearly a problem here. I have to address this. A couple other things here where they need to have rubrics. So not to worry about that. I think that's it for me. There's other resources here for you to follow up on, but if you have any questions or concerns, let me know and we will answer your questions. I recommend when you go into questions and concerns that you click on subscribe. And when you click on subscribe, anytime anybody in the class posts a question, it might be relevant to you or you might have an answer. You can subscribe and you'll be given a notice when something is listed there. So just click on that. It'll automatically then send you the posts when you get it, when a question is posted in that discussion board, and you can do it from there. The same thing when you get to your group discussion boards. I also recommend that you hit subscribe in your portal because then you'll know when team members are posting in your portal so that you can stay on top of it. And what you'll see in your discussion board portal is several different discussion boards. You'll get one discussion that is ungraded where you guys will talk amongst yourselves and collaborate on the discussion posts. And then you'll have one for each of the different discussion boards that you need to complete. So there'll be 6 different portals in the discussion board for you in your discussion group. And I would recommend subscribing to all of them so that you can keep track of when something is posted and making sure that people get the work done. So if you have any questions, let me know and I'll talk to you soon.